attach cameras to your guys' helmets. Here you go.
Perfect. Okay. Thanks, Jackie.
All right.
Now we're going to see if skydivers with flares attached to their boots look anything like the mysterious UFO seen hovering over El Paso. Okay, we're all set on the ground. Lieutenant 2 from base, we see you turning around. How far are you from drop zone?
Elms on the ground, we're approximately 10 seconds prior to drop.
I have a visual confirmation. I can see the plane lights.
In 3, 2, 1, jump.
Green light, exit.
Oh, there we go. I got sparks.
Wow!
Look at it. We're gonna split up.
There's the triangle. Oh my God! Look at it.
Now we got some really interesting results from our tests in the case in El Paso. Now remember, in this case, there's one singular light that comes down and divides into 3. So what we did first was try and test to see if we could replicate the formation of these lights.
Right, so the first thing we did was test the theory that these could be just illuminated party balloons drifting in the sky.
So we take 3 clear party balloons, we fill them with LEDs, and we race them up into the night sky. And we had them each tethered to a different point so we could get that triangular formation in the sky.
This is what it looks like. So as you can see, in our test, the balloons were tethered, but they're still buffeted by the wind, and they're not nearly bright enough. And obviously, we weren't able to replicate that blazing tail we saw in the original, but we did get the formation down pretty well.
I mean, if anything else, you guys, this test showed that the balloons look a lot more like the New York footage over Times Square. And I think that if it was during the day and maybe a little bit less wind, it would have been a pretty exact match. So you guys, for our next experiment, we launched a man-made rocket with 3 flares bottled up inside of it. Now, this is a little bit more of a complicated experiment, but it's definitely something that a hobbyist could do if they were so inspired. So the bundle of flares had an altimeter attached to it. When it reached the proper altitude, the flares burst apart.
So this is what it looks like. Oh, definitely get that trail. That looks really good.
That's pretty sophisticated, and it worked.
It is. Yeah, it's really good. This experiment definitely got us a lot closer than the balloons did, but we weren't able to replicate the hovering effect.
These flares, as they're falling, fell faster than the lights that we saw in the original video. And the parachutes themselves on the flares were susceptible to wind.
So for our final test, we needed something that would give us a little bit more control, and would also give us those trails that we see in the original footage. So we moved on to stunt skydivers.
Wow! Now these skydivers attached flares to the heels of their shoes, and they electronically timed them to ignite them in the air. And this is what it looked like.
So there's 3 guys falling as a group right now.
Really?
Then they let go of each other.
Oh my gosh.
That looks really good.
That's a match right there.
That is uncanny.
The cameraman in the original video looked like he was trying to pull the focus a bit, so we blurred our image, and it looks pretty dead on.
Good job, guys.
That's really impressive.
You guys, one of the coolest things that happened that night was right after our skydiver test, people started reporting this as an actual UFO event.
Yeah, the 911 apparently was flooded with calls. It was on the evening news in Los Angeles. People were going back and forth on the forums, posting videos online. It was explained that they were skydivers, and people still didn't believe it. So once we realized that the El Paso lights could have been skydivers, I did some research. Now I found a skydiving team for the Army called the Golden Knights, and they confirmed that on October 15th, this was them in El Paso practicing for an air show.
Wow! So
Yeah.
you guys really did that.
We did.
We nailed it. Good job.
Yeah.